What's up? Welcome everybody back to another edition of Chairgatin. I'm your Astros host.
Oh, bullshit.
Rattlesnake coming at you live once again from Austin, Texas with my co-host Dakota. What up, Dakota?
Man.
Who do we got with us?
What's the Braves score right now? Are the Braves winning yet? Oh, man.
No, actually, the Astros are currently winning.
I can't even believe I'm talking baseball. But it's your boy, Dakota Drake Ford, coming from Atlanta, Georgia. World Series round one winner. But we got our boy Jay Guap. Jonathan's on the show. First time guest, big friend of mine. We've hung out a bunch this year. And Jonathan's, what's up, man?
What up, y'all? How y'all doing?
No, we're doing good. We're ready to jump into this bad boy.
Yes, sir. All the way from Wilmington.
What's up? It's Chairgatin coming at you live.
Hello, come right in. Rock, flag, and eagle.
That was absolutely perfect. He was like, "Hey, I'm sorry.
Sorry I cut you off." Dakota said he gave you the rundown of how this works. Clearly
It's all good.
So I'll pin that one on Dakota.
That's all good.
It's all
Jay
good.
Block, tell everybody where you're from and what you're doing, man.
Yeah, man. I'm from North Carolina, about 2.5 hours east of Charlotte, and just grew up watching racing, Monster Jam, NASCAR, hunting, just anything outdoors and with loud ass motors.
So if I get this right, you've probably been to more races than anybody this year, unless they're retired old people.
Or they work for NASCAR.
Yeah.
From what I know, the only person that's got me beat is Racetrack Rob.
Yeah.
And we're neck and neck. Yeah, he works doing NASCAR events, so that's the only reason we're close. But
what tracks have you been to?
Yeah, for our audience, why don't you give them a rundown? How many races you went to this year, and then maybe the tracks you didn't go to, maybe why you didn't go to those. But
this year so far, I've been to 25, including one ARCA race.
Jesus.
And
now, is that all Cup or is that tracks or what?
That's just weekends.
Okay, 25 weekends. Yeah.
No, not 25 weekends. That's 25 races total between all three series and ARCA.
Oh, okay. That's
so yeah. So it's been I think it's 8 or 9 tracks and just multiple races in that weekend.
That sounds almost like us.
Yeah, that's like what we're at. Okay, hold on.
Right. You said 24 races. I was like,
now it's changed a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, how'd you go to that many, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could go to 25 Cup races. That'd be something else.
That's what
Dakota told me coming on here, and I was like, holy shit, I need to talk to this guy. That doesn't make any sense. This makes a lot
all
more
your
sense.
credibility.
Well, I mean, it's still a bunch of races.
So if you've watched any races on TV this year, you've definitely seen this little son of a bitch standing by the fence in his fucking JRM shirt or, his JRM hat with his Pit Vipers on, trying to get a high five or a picture or something. Every race I've been to, this dude is standing right by the start-finish line, and that's where he sits.
Yep, and we're getting a glove, too, from Noah.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a time.
Yeah, so when we were at Darlington hanging out, when I was on the fence on TV, like looking cool as shit, he was standing like right next to me, and Noah gave him his damn glove.
Hey, cool. Speaking of Pit Money Vipers, Dakota, who are we brought to you by?
Oh, boy. I mean, you might want to try these bad boys out right here. Brought to you by Yeats Official, shutting down Pit Vipers stream every day. Boy, get you a pair. It's just, we got too many around.
We got
here.
too many.
Just more giveaways. But yeah, man.
Too.
Brought to you by Yeats. Discount code 10% off Chairgatin. Also, get you a nice cold Yeti to put that in while you're wearing your Yeats. We're going to have to get you a pair, man. Them Pit Vipers are outdated.
Yeah, come on, dude. What is this? 2019? Come on.
Yeah.
Let me a pair my way, man. Pre-pandemic.
All right, so what was your favorite race to go to this year?
Let me look at the schedule I've done.
You can't remember?
I've been at 25 so far. It's a lot to soak in one time. Before this year, I'd been, I think, 40 in my life. So I've almost done a whole 40 in one season, or match what I've done in my life.
I don't count Xfinity races.
Yeah.
I just count if I went to the track, I just count that as one.
Right.
So
that's one way to look at it then.
Yeah. I didn't count truck races.
I feel like you're padding your stats here. right? When you say 25, and then we come on and we're like, oh, we're at like 7 and 9, so we're nowhere near you. And then you're like, well, it's more like 8. So come on.
I count all the races. A race is a race.
Hey man, that's a nice Nike sweatshirt though.
I appreciate it. Got a little swag under it though.
What is it?
Ready to see this?
Yeah. What I hear them teasing me all night.
All right. So I would actually, I'll say my favorite Cup race this year was definitely Bristol. The Bristol night race.
Why is that?
You tell me.
This is bullshit. Wow, dude. Seriously?
Yep. I'm doing that.
Wow, this is fucked up, dude. You look fucked
Tell me,
up.
man.
What hat are you wearing? That's just bullshit, dude.
Oh yeah, wow.
You talking about trolling people?
Yeah.
This is cold blooded, dude. Hey, that's a badass shirt though.
Hey, now you see why the flags are in order like they are, right?
Oh wow. No matter what, if you like Kevin or not, that is the sickest fucking scheme and shirt.
It is.
It's the best scheme of the year, in my opinion.
That is the best one.
Agreed. I think most people agree. I would say, other than like Chase Elliott fans, usually, since apparently you agree, I would say most NASCAR fans got to agree that was the best one in a while, actually.
And I guess it's a Father's Day thing, but I was like, why Nashville? You know how mean this thing would have looked at Dago or Bristol Under the Lights or something? Like, it's just kind of like
Bristol Night would have been good, yeah.
Yeah, it'd been real cool under the lights. But man, it was a cool car, badass car. I always wish I was like, what is it?
Well, I got a pretty cool shirt. Look at my shirt, Astros, baby, swinging and banging.
What is that?
Swinging and banging, baby. H-Town.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, you pop your trunk.
What's the green? Is that green? Is that
that's
Shred?
Orbit? That's our mascot.
Oh, nice,
and he's just like double stacked styrofoam cups, purple sipping.
Wow. I don't know anything about the Astros, but cool. I guess
H-Town, baby.
Yeah, we got a game to keep up with.
Yeah, tonight. We do. I'm honestly, while y'all talk, half the time I'm looking down at the game on my phone. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because Dakota had to schedule it during the World Series game.
Some of us had stuff to do today.
Yeah, some of us did, like kill other cats.
So there was a race. It was in Kansas. Oh, what's that score now? Though?
All right, well, let's talk about Kansas. I'll bring up the game when I feel like bringing up the game.
All right,
let's talk Kansas.
Round 3, race 2. We're getting down to the nitty gritty of this bad boy.
Yeah, and we mentioned in the previous episode, the episode that we were hyping up for Kansas. I thought that Kansas was going to be a good race. It'd be really entertaining because there's not much time left to make any moves. All the drivers are going to be going for it as hard as they can. And Kansas is a good intermediate track. It does put on good shows. And we had just come from Texas. So I was like, I think Kansas is going to put on a hell of a show.
It's only up from here coming from
Lo
Texas.
And behold, that was pretty bad.
Not really. 550 aside, I feel like it was okay. You had some drama. But that's another thing too, is like, did the playoff drama give us the sparks we wanted?
Yes, 100%. What other drama did we have?
The race was so. I was, my heart was pounding there. Apparently, the 4-car found something in the last 2 weeks. He's running the best he has all year, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I guess that pounding on the door of the 5-car. I was like, holy shit.
I guess that win would give him a little push around the track like it did everybody else into the wall.
Yeah, that's probably what we needed, was a windy day to get it that catch us up. Yeah, man. King Larson does it again. Can this guy be stopped? I'm honestly wondering now, 3 in a row for the second time this year. What if he just wins the next 2 races? Like, what if he wins Martinsville and Phoenix and just like mic drop?
I mean, he probably should at this point. I will say that was another thing that Dalton Rowdy Nation good. He said that he thought Kyle Larson wouldn't do shit in Kansas that he would pull off, and me and you both said no. Kyle Larson does not let up. Like, I don't care how far ahead he is in anything.
Knees, boy.
Dude's gonna be going for it, and that's exactly what he did. But I want to hear. Me and Dakota both said what we thought about this race. What did you think about this race? Were you entertained? Did you like it?
Yes and no. It was another Larson just waxing ass of the field like he has all season long, hasn't let up. But it was also interesting seeing all the different drivers having different issues with the wind going laps down, like Truex coming 2 laps down and finishing still top 10.
Yeah, incredible how that happened, and he just happens to be in the playoffs. Whoa.
just like he fails pre-race every week and finds the speed.
Whoa, how did he find that speed?
What?
Denny Hamlin, same thing. He finished top 15 still. Kyle Busch, though, one of the one of the 3 that didn't finish top 20. He had a rough day,
dude. Yeah. There were some woes where I was like, "Oh shit!" And it's like, this always seems to happen too. It happened in Texas. It happened this week. It's like, are you guys just fumbling under your own feet? Like, get it together, dude. This is crunch time. And everybody's fucking up, and then I don't think the 5 will ever fuck up. But it's like, is it ever going to get him? He just cannot be touched. He's dominating. He's winning, leading all the laps. Jeff Gordon record smashed.
Yep.
And there for a second, it looked like when Larson got back in traffic, he was getting loose, slapping the wall and shit. And it was like, maybe he lost it. And then it looked like Chase Elliott was going to win. And I was like, please, God, no Chase Elliott. And then for a minute, I thought Kevin had a shot, man. I was like, okay, you know what would be kind of crazy? As if, like, say Kyle fell back and Chase was leading and Kevin was running down Chase. That would have been some good, gossip.
Oh, I'm sure NASCAR would have loved for that.
They would have been stirring that pot.
Yeah. And then they would have afterwards been like, guys, don't do anything. But secretly, they're like, yes.
Yeah.
Money in their pockets every time they get close to each other.
Big time.
But it did, like, it was like, man, I'm so glad we are done with this 550 package on this generation of car. Who knows what the future holds? Could be good, could be worse. But it is what it is. It's over. Mile and a halves are over. I thought Kansas was better than Texas. I'll say that.
Yeah, I would agree there.
It was. And then.
By the way, 2-1 now. Cheers. Keep going. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep doing this. Yeah.
Son of a bitch. So Kansas. I mean, we had some cautions. We had some delays. Brad Keselowski seemed to like totally fuck himself getting in the wall. The wind. Well, it was windy. The Windy City, like I said last week. Windy City. Was blowing cars all over
Kansas, the Windy City, the state of Kansas. You dubbed the Windy City, and I think who was it? Tyler Reddick that mentioned that.
Was I correct?
No, you were, because wasn't it Tyler Reddick that mentioned that? He said he was the one that was talking about the wind afterwards, saying like
they all were, dude. That's why everybody was slapping the wall. Poor Ryan Blaney, RIP, pour one out. Honestly, he was like plus 27, and I think the cutoff was like plus 22, and I was like, wow, man, Martinsville is going to be a must-win for a lot of these guys.
I will say it could have been a lot worse for Blaney. Right now, he's just right outside the line with -1. Kyle Busch is just inside with +1. It could have been a lot worse for him. I feel like he saved. He
could have been -27 or something.
Exactly. He saved quite a bit because
he pretty much took his mulligan.
Right, and we've mentioned on the show, he was our 4th wild card to get in early. And so we do want to see him do well since we called that out.
Yeah, I'm rooting for YRB, but it was like when that happened, it seemed like that changed that changed the whole rest of the race, because now all of a sudden, like, Kyle Busch is pouting, Truex is 2 laps down, Brad's screwed, and it was like, hold on a second, like, now that we got to get these points back, and you saw guys rally. Truex made a championship run of 2 laps down the whole race to come back and finish in the top 10. That's what championships are made of. But can Larson be beat? I doubt it. So, I don't know. I'm kind of at this point, I'm just like, I hope Larson wins every freaking race because it's not going to happen. It's kind of hard to root against the guy with the vengeance story he's having. But
he's out for blood right now, and that's 110% how he's been all year.
Dude,
he's out for blood.
Not letting up.
Were you at the 600 this year?
Yeah, that's where I met you. That's when I first met you, and you were like, right. Yeah. Hey, man.
Don't even go there with that shit.
Oh, shit. Well, hold on. Tell me this story.
Oh, all right. I'll start it off. I was like, me and Jay Guap have been Twitter buds, like, pretty much since Daytona. And something like, hey, man, you going Coke 600? And I was like, yeah, I'm going Coke 600. Hopefully, let's meet up, bro. It's kind of how all these friendships start.
Right.
Well, then he was helping Shitty Coolers Rob out and everything, his tent. And the Coke 600 had a badass, tent city. Like, it was pretty cool. It was packed. Well, I met up with them at the Shitty tent, and that's where I first met Rob too. And I was like, hey, man, what's up? And you were like, yeah, hey. And they were busy. They were selling stuff.
We had 2 lines of people just lined up, and
I was kind of like, "Hey man, good to meet y'all." Yeah, hey dude, like fuck off. And I was kind of like, "All right, I'll holler at y'all later."
Wow, and you still invited him on the show. I guess the relationship got mended.
We ought to get Shitty Rob on the show, man. If he's still not mad at me about Darlington.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother story.
He did seem pretty upset about that.
Yeah,
but no, because we had, like I said, we had 2 lines of people just waiting to buy stuff, and I didn't even work for Shitty. I was
just like 4 people in line.
I don't want to hear that. I was talking to 3 people myself, and Rob had people waiting in line.
And then you were playing cornhole.
That was a promotional thing he was doing.
Oh, God forbid.
So I'm really good. So I'm good at cornhole, really good. And he did a promotional thing where if you could beat the cornhole champion, you got the free Shitty bag. So of course, everybody and their mom wants to line up and play me cornhole. I can beat your ass. You'll get waxed. I played 15 times Saturday and Sunday, and I lost once.
Damn, somebody got a bag.
So anyways, somebody
first met, and I was just kind of like, that's not what I thought it was going to be. Whatever. And went our day, and then like you messaged me like, dude, bro, sorry, man, we were busy. Fuck, like I feel bad about that. I was like, it's all good. We'll see each other again. And you were like, no, I didn't mean to be a dick.
Yeah, I felt like, especially afterwards, I felt I came off the wrong way. I knew I was busy, but at the same time, I was like, I had to take 5 minutes to say what's up to my buddy, so I had to make it up to him.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
a dozen races together.
I do want to bring up the Shitty coolers. When I go to Darlington, when I go to Talladega, like a lot of these tracks, I see them all over. Right, Dakota, Talladega. I mean, just about every other person had one. He's going to get his.
Mine's right over there.
All over the place.
So they were everywhere, and people were stopping people with them and asking about it. Like it was a huge deal. I was just at Texas Motor Speedway, didn't see a single one.
Really?
So I feel like Rob's got to get out. That's a huge market that he's missing. I'm not saying it's a good race. It's Texas Motor Speedway.
Did he go for the All-Star?
Yeah, but he couldn't sell.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's like makes sense. Because I've just noticed, like, at all the other tracks, I'm seeing them everywhere. And I'm like, man, this dude is literally taking over NASCAR with this product. And then I go to Texas Motor Speedway expecting to see him everywhere. And I didn't see him. And I was like, oh, man, he's missing out over here. Like, because the race sucks, but there's still a lot of fans that show up to that track. And it's a good facility.
I actually have free tickets to Texas.
All right, one at a time.
Busy as shit.
My bad. Bristol.
I'm calling out Dakota, not you.
That's me.
It's always Dakota. Don't worry.
Bristol. I'm not putting his numbers out there, but he did the highest sales he's ever did in his shitty career so far. And when he told me that, I was like, I was blown away with the sales they did.
Yeah,
but
4-1 Astros.
God bless.
Sorry, keep going.
But the thing is with Shitty, what I've been told is that there's one side of NASCAR tracks that like Shitty, and there's the other ownership that doesn't like outside sellers, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I totally get it. Yeah.
So with Texas, Texas not being owned by NASCAR, they're really, really strict of who can sell at the track, and if you're not an official vendor, they want you nowhere near the track because they want all the money to the NASCAR vendors they can get.
I feel like that's how they treat a lot of the little guys, I guess. I mean, we're not selling anything, but like any kind of access, any kind of not super legitimately licensed bullshit is like stay outside, peasants. Only real media people can come through here. That's the vibe I get with all around on NASCAR.
Yeah, I don't know. Bristol, I feel like does a great job of like getting all the outside small people involved with,
Bristol,
or at least next door to.
Always have at it. Y'all sell whatever the fuck. I don't care what you're selling.
Yeah,
that's like some old school local dirt track shit.
Yeah,
just post up and sell shit.
I love it.
Flea market.
Rattlesnake's never been to Bristol, but we're gonna get them to the night race next year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Last year is my first time. This year is my second time around, and I told my grandpa, man, because we went to all the races together as a kid growing up, and I told him, I'm like, we missed out on a gold mine.
Yeah, I'm sure growing up. What'd you say? You're in Fayetteville, North Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all went to Charlotte all the time. Probably went down to Darlington and
Daytona, Martinsville, Richmond.
Dude,
those are the tracks I mainly went to.
Bristol's a don't miss for me. Like I will probably go there forever.
What about the dirt race?
Now that is like a maybe once if someone offered me a ticket. It's
I think we should try to go, Dakota. I think we should do it.
Stop. Hey man, like next year we're gonna keep.
We're not gonna go to as many races. We got responsibilities.
Dude,
fuck it. Let's go to the dirt race this weekend.
uh,
Next year's gonna be bad, dude.
I have a bad feeling.
I'm thinking we're gonna be around like 10 races.
Well, probably. The LTC boys they show some hospitality. I mean, I'm not gonna leave.
Or if we're doing Jay Guap's math, it would be like 30 something.
Now, well, see, I would hate your first time to see Bristol be the dirt race. That would just
no. That's true. That's a good point. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That
is not. I haven't seen that, but that's not.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that's a good point. Then maybe we'll wait till the next year after that. Yeah, because I think they'll probably keep it on the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Kansas. Bottom line, it was better than Texas, even though I was at Texas. Even I admitted being at Texas. I called Dakota right afterwards. I was like, was that a boring fucking race on the TV? Because I was in person and I was thinking, damn, this race is kind of boring, which doesn't happen often when you're in person watching a race. So I will say Kansas was a better race than that for sure, but it was not a good race in my opinion. It was pretty boring. And the only drama, like you said, was from the playoffs, and it was kind of forced drama where it was like, oh, this guy fell back.
Race, it would have been like, meh.
Right, and Kansas usually puts on better races. It's the 550.
It's the package.
Yeah, it's what was that tweet that was out this week? Like the 550 is good when you don't have a bitch in your ear saying it's bad.
Yeah, some kid or whoever.
I was like, all right, this fucking 16-year-old kid, come call me a bitch, motherfucker. Yeah. Come tell me the 550 is good and I'm a bitch for thinking it's bad.
Another thing is like, thank God it's over. And it's like, well, we still have this whatever they're doing next year with the motor. But it's like, I have no idea how these new bodies are going to race.
Yeah, so it ain't over.
I'm hoping that maybe we have some better racing. But I'm kind of not getting my hopes up that we might see the same fucking shit.
From what I've been told and what I understand is that those cars are meant for short tracks and they're meant for road courses.
That's
they're not meant for mile and a halves or super speedways. So
I'm seeing on Twitter, I'm seeing that I don't think they even want to go to mile and a halves anymore.
So I was going to bring this up. What's funny is just a few years ago, people were bitching about mile and a half intermediates and how the whole schedule's full of them and they're boring. They're cookie cutter tracks, right? I mean, that's what everybody used to say, cookie cutter tracks. And I guarantee in like 5 years, we're going to be like, remember the good old days when we were on mile and a half intermediates that all looked the same? It's going to be really weird in the future because they're going to be taking them off big time. I think there's a witch hunt for them right now.
That's going to be when Ty Gibbs are winning road courses every week in that damn next gen car. We're going to wish we went back to mile and a halves.
I've been literally like, and I've been thinking about it a lot, like the last 48 hours is like, it was really those fucking tweets from, what's his name? It was like, what could the 2030 schedule look like or whatever.
I did see that.
We're getting rid of these tracks that ain't got fans at them. And it's like, man, like when am I, and Rattlesnake's really big on this, is like, when is Dakota going to draw a fucking line in the sand? And I'm like,
I have said this to you since day one of you coming onto this podcast.
Well, it's been
what is the line?
It's been bothering me lately. Is like when I seen the whole like we're getting rid of tracks and we want to get a street course. I'm like, dude, I'm getting sad about this shit.
At what point do you say this is too much? I can't support this league anymore, this racing league, right? Like I can't support NASCAR anymore because it's not the sport I grew up with. It's not what I always liked. I mean, they created a car that specializes in road courses.
The people I hate, where I'm like, well, I quit watching when Earnhart died. I quit when they started the playoffs. It's like then I become I quit watching because they went to damn street courses and moved the number.
Right.
Nathan loves this argument with me too because he'll be like, dude, it's awesome, and I'm like, this is not awesome.
It's essentially we make fun of that meme with the blindfold, and it's like we like what we see here.
I love what we're seeing.
Right. And we all joke about it, and it's a funny meme. But at the end of the day, if we keep supporting NASCAR when they do stupid shit, we are the meme. We're watching it with the blinders on saying, oh, I love what I see here. I mean, that's what NASCAR fans are going to do in 5 years. Just keep convincing themselves they love it when it's not the same sport anymore. It's just, it's IMSA. It's, it's not NASCAR.
Yeah, dude, mean, I don't. The cars.
Look, this is worst case scenario, by the way. I'm not saying this is happening tomorrow. I'm just saying in like 5 years, this is what could happen, and we need to be ready.
The new cars look sick. I think they look badass.
They do look cool.
I'm optimistic to how they'll race.
How do they sound though?
The sound, I listened to the BBC. He was saying, he's like, in the garage when they crank them up, they sound amazing. He's like, but when they get down on the track, they sound like they're down a cylinder.
It sounds like a fart with an echo. Like that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a fart in a room with an echo.
And so I mean, I don't know, man. I'm optimistic for it, but talking about taking ovals away and adding street courses, I'm like, all right, strike one. Moving the number, that was like 3 strikes in itself. That bothers me the most. I think it's like, God dang, dude. Like,
we're all gonna become IndyCar fans when IndyCar goes to more intermediates than NASCAR.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I don't know,
that's tough.
I don't know, man. I'm just like, how long am I going to keep putting up with this shit?
Right. Yeah. That's my point. I'm not saying you got to do it tomorrow. I'm just saying it's good to know now where your line is. So then in like 3 years, when they hit that mark, your line's not constantly moving. Where you're like, I said I would stop supporting you if you did this, and you did it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like I feel like it'd be like it's like breaking up with that girlfriend, like you don't like it's just like I don't love you anymore. But it's like you don't want to because you've been doing it so long. And
yeah,
it's
comfortable.
I don't want it to come to that, but damn it, y'all throwing some strikes up. Like how long am I gonna put up with this? It's like
Jacob, what do you think? Do you have a line? Do you have a line in the sand?
The numbers we can bitch about it all day, but it's done. It's a done deal.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I think when we have an argument we can make and try to push, but I don't even think it's an argument we can make as the street courses. I'm not a fan of much of road courses.
Yeah, you're a real NASCAR fan, is what you're saying.
Three is a max.
Yeah,
3 is a pure max. We should have a.
Hey,
I'll tolerate 4.
I just said I will now agree to 4, which is sad that I'm willing to go that far. But it's like, look, if we can all agree, I'll say, okay, let's bring it back to 4. I'd be fine with that. But I agree, 3 should have been the max the whole time because NASCAR is not road coursing.
Yeah, but definitely the street course is where it's gonna push me to my limit. But it's all the corporate what they're trying to push to bring IMSA fans and Indy fans over to please other people that aren't even fans of our sport.
What,
yet.
the 30,000 people that follow the racing? No disrespect to IMSA or like Indy, but I mean, is that really who you want to be chasing? I mean,
they're worried about pleasing. Yeah, they're worried about pleasing other people that don't even care about our sport.
I feel like they're just chasing a ghost at this point, man.
Yep,
it's
100%.
We want OEMs. We want street courses. We're going to target that new fan and new markets. It's like, bro, the grass ain't always greener, dog. You're kind of biting the hand that feeds you.
Well, this is a great segue to talking about F1 and the fans that were in Austin. What up,
dude?
This weekend
when I was like, dude, you should go. I'm like, thank God you didn't go, dude, because that bitch was packed.
I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed if I spent $450 to stand on the grass the whole time. I mean, granted, those races aren't very long. But
I'm super impressed. So, I watched a little bit of the race just because to try to appreciate it, what was happening.
Well, and now we're big fans of what's his face,
Ricardo.
Daniel. Yeah, he's our guy. He's our guy because he's an Earnhardt guy.
So I was like, wow, man, I cannot believe it. But then I was like, well, you got to think this is the one time it's coming to America. Right. If you want to go, this is it, motherfucker.
Yeah, people are traveling in.
But also badass Netflix series getting everybody into fucking race cars all of a sudden. That's a double boost in the arm.
We talked about that before the race, before the F1 race.
You got celebrities there. Megan Stallion's shaking her ass on pit road. Like, what is NASCAR doing? They're over here.
I still don't know who that is. I'm going to be honest.
They're getting crickets in Kansas, dude. And like one thing DBC talked about too was why the fuck who's in charge of this about planning your start time being the same time as the F1 race? That was a huge thing. Like, you're going to go head to head with F1. Look how many people are there. How many people do you think are watching?
Right. So they have everyone around the world watching, but this is the only race that Americans, other than like Mexico, right? Other than Mexico, this is like the only race that they can watch at a reasonable time. So Americans are tuning in for that race. Yeah. That was just ridiculous.
My whole thing was just like, dude, like y'all are shooting yourselves in the foot. If you run this and then ran Kansas that night, or do a night Kansas race, boom, boom. Like you're gonna probably double your viewers. I would think.
Or you do a 12 o'clock race like Dale Jr.'s bitched about for years.
Yeah, I miss those good old days. But man, I don't know. I'm not even like I'm literally ignorant to F1.
Right.
But it looked like they had their shit going on.
Yeah, 100%. It looks like they're prepared. And Denny Hamlin before this weekend said NASCAR needs to take a note out of F1's book when it comes to setting up the race and fan engagement and all that stuff.
Yeah,
clearly he's got a point after seeing what they did
got, like,
put
this
on in
whole
Austin.
Party fucking we're all here vibe. Like, what's up?
I was in Austin for the NASCAR race, which obviously got rained out. The whole weekend was shitty weather, but I was telling Dakota about the situation. I mean, I mentioned on the podcast as well that there was a lot of people there. I was impressed with the amount of people that showed up. Obviously nothing compared to F1, but I was impressed with the amount of people that showed up because Austin's not a NASCAR city. It's more of an F1 city, if you know what I mean. But they just were not, there was like no camping. There was like one section for RVs. I know no gypsy tents. It just wasn't like a NASCAR race.
It would never amount to that F1 crowd, but I want to see like what could NASCAR do with a full, beautiful weekend schedule. Like,
more importantly, why does Bristol not look like that
anymore?
That's what I mean. Yeah, that was Bristol. That's what Bristol looked like.
In
like
the heyday.
People are freaking out about it, but it's like, I mean, that's pretty much what Bristol looked like back in the day when they would sell it out.
Oh yeah, I remember it, dude. It was insane. It was like people doing the wave. It was fucking
so
nuts.
So what's the thing? What's the problem here?
And that's the thing too. Is like, this and that. It's like no. Clearly, F1 just shows up and packed the house out. It looked insane.
And clearly, Bristol used to look like that, so it's possible.
So that's the thing. It's doable. So what are we doing? My whole thing is like, well, maybe we race every week around the country. So, I don't know. That's just a quarter of the argument. But it's like, no, like NASCAR should look like this in every city it goes to.
Right. It's not a good argument because if NASCAR's showing up to where you're from, race fans should be there, and they're not.
You just reminded me I have a beer in the freezer. Intern, can you get?
Well, the BBC was saying too this week that when he went to Talladega earlier this year, he went to a bar 5 miles from the track and asked for the Xfinity race on TV, and the bartender didn't even know what the NASCAR Xfinity race was, and that's 5 miles from the track. So that's an issue.
I remember that.
That's an issue.
Wow.
And that's just not Dega. I mean, you would think Dega and Bristol would be top 2, Daytona 3, and people don't even know that, like, they live in the area that there's a race going on.
How many times have you, say, my Sundays revolve around race times, but sometimes I'm out to eat with the girls. I'm out doing something. We go out to eat, and I'm like, hey, can you put the race on? Xfinity race is on. And they're like, the what? And you're like, the fucking race, like Jesus.
To be fair, if you said the NASCAR race is on, I think people would know what you're talking about. People know what NASCAR is. They just don't really have an interest in it. But at least everyone knows what it is. I would say more people, at least in America, know what NASCAR is before F1. Now they might not watch it or pay attention. But if you said
who's winning, Dale Jr.
Right? How's Danica doing this year? If you said NASCAR, they would know. I think the problem is they don't know Xfinity Series. Only NASCAR fans know about that.
Well, that's what Freddie Kraft said. He said there was multiple times they were in the city that the race is at because they're there, and they'd go out to eat and be like, "Hey, can you turn on the Xfinity race or like the Xfinity race we're eating and we want to watch it?" And they were like, "Oh, where are they racing at?" And they were like 10 minutes.
That's not good.
Road. Yeah,
literally like down the street.
You should be aware of what's going on in your area. I mean, that's ridiculous.
So it was a good episode. They kind of went into like, what is this NASCAR's fault? Is this track promoters' fault in the area?
Like a little bit of both.
Yeah. So
at the end of the day, it falls on NASCAR 100%. They're the organization that's responsible. I mean, a track promoter is responsible for their area. So I would say that's on them. They're the ones that need to sell their own tickets. But it doesn't help when people just don't care about NASCAR anymore. So, I mean, that's the biggest issue.
Well, the thing is, like, I feel like NASCAR's been making some strides, but I'm like, hey, we keep taking a couple steps up, and then we take like 2 back, and then we take 3 steps up.
No, I say we take 1 step up and then 2 back, like every fucking time. It's like we'll take a step, and I'm like, hell yeah, here we go. This is the year. And then they're like, oh, we're announcing this thing, and I'm like, what the fuck? Nobody wants this street course.
Who asked for that? Who said it? I want to know.
So in your notes, you said NASCAR versus F1, friend or foe. I was wondering specifically what you meant by that.
All right, good. I'm glad you asked because I kept seeing on Twitter all day the last couple of days is like, hey, NASCAR had more viewers than F1. Da 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 da. And I'm like, okay. And then I also heard, hey, you know what's a good idea? NASCAR should try to do their companion race with F1 at COTA. You know how freaking huge that would be? If could we build off this? Look at the crowd they're pulling. What if we, hey, we could be friends here. Let's work off each other, a companionship. We'll run the cup race on Saturday, F1 race on Sunday. How insane would that crowd be?
And then you get the fucking Daniel Ricciardo dude. Put him in a cup car.
Throw him in an Xfinity car. Fuck it.
Yeah, or just a cup car just to run it around. I mean, he was saying that he wants to drive one.
Collaborate, do some things, promote.
Kyle Larson gets to drive in a fucking F1, an open wheel supercar.
Promote both. I just kept seeing, well, NASCAR did this, but F1 did that. And it's like, dude, like, why are we battling here when we could both feed off this? We could both help each other out a little bit.
That's a great point. I don't know why they don't. I wonder if it's like NASCAR and F1 business behind the scenes are like kind of battling each other, so they don't want to. But I don't understand why they wouldn't. That's a great point. We just saw the crowd in Austin for F1. Can you imagine if NASCAR was there right afterwards to try to kind of get that crowd and say, hey, you're Americans. You're clearly interested in racing. This is your professional racing league, your series here in America. Like, check it out. You might like it.
What do you think, Jake Guap?
I don't know. I can see it both ways. Like like we can help each other out, get the fans. But at the same time, people have to be interested to even want to go or look at it on TV. Like we had a Netflix series that literally just went down the fucking toilet, and there was a Netflix series with the F1 that I didn't even know about, but apparently got 500,000 people at a track.
Right?
But you didn't even know about it. The drive.
No, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't know F1 was even a COTA this weekend.
Damn.
I don't pay attention to it.
I knew because I was in Austin. They got billboard. That's another thing. The NASCAR race comes in, barely any promotion. I mean, there was some. The F1 race a month beforehand, billboards all over the city. Like, they're promoting the shit out of it. Like, if you live in Austin, you can't not know the F1 race is coming in. When the NASCAR race was coming in the day before, people were like, hey, do you know a NASCAR race is here this weekend? And I'm like, yeah.
I think when Atlanta comes, I'll see a billboard in Atlanta somewhere on 75.
Right, like one.
NASCAR comes March 11th, and that's all I'll see.
Yeah, when F1's here, there's a shit ton of promotion for it.
Well, and during the Texas race, they were downtown doing burnouts and shit. It's like, when they would go to Vegas and they do like for the the post-championship bullshit, they go and do all the burnout stuff. Why aren't we doing that in all the cities we're going to? Like, go to cities and be like, hey, motherfuckers, we're coming this Sunday. Be there. We're doing burnouts here. We're going to be racing on Sunday. Come on out.
Well, what track is it that does the isn't that Dega that does the holler thing where everyone goes on the sides of the roads and cheers on the hollers coming into the track?
They do that in a lot of towns. Thank you.
I know it's died off.
They do that in a lot of towns. Atlanta does, or like the Atlanta race does one. They go through the little town of Hampton, and they kind of do a holler parade thing, and they do it on Thursday night, or used to do it on Thursday night, and you can come see it and stuff. Bring the kids, and they honk the horns and shit. I think Dega does one. I know a lot of. I think pre-COVID, a lot of tracks did it, but I don't know. I don't really know about pre-race stuff. I'm usually showing up there Saturday morning.
Well, another thing too, I just thought about wasn't an IndyCar early this year at the road course in Indy with the Cup and Xfinity, and it still didn't really do half the crowd. If I'm correct on that.
Yeah, with the Indy 500.
Yeah, was it with qualifying? They were doing qualifying for the Indy 500 the week of our road course, right? Or it was something of that. I thought it was something of that sort. They had Indy cars in the garage at the same time as Cup cars. Wasn't that this year?
Oh, you're talking about Indy Road Course where like they raced on? I thought they raced after the Xfinity race or something, or before it, and then Cup raced on Sunday.
Something of that sort. I just know that they had Indy cars in the same time in the garage as Cup and Xfinity, and the ticket sales were still gone.
Yeah, that was Indy Road Course, and that was the Indy series. But yeah, it was still like half-ass almost. I don't know if that was COVID related or what, but it wasn't what it should have been.
Yeah, so to get back to the question, I mean, it could help us out, but you see IndyCar in Indianapolis, Indiana, not doing anything with working with NASCAR, but not.
Was it for the Indy 500? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it was the Indy Road Course.
Yeah,
they raced the Indy 500, and then they came back and raced the road course.
I mean, what are they gonna get out of the 100,000 Indy fans in the whole world? I mean, there's a difference. There was like 400,000 F1 fans in Austin. And it's Indy, like they don't really have a fan base. I'm surprised they're even still around. Other than the Indy 500, that racing is pretty much done.
Get my freezer beer.
So I mean, I think that's the big difference. Also, there was no. Usually for the F1 race in Austin, it's a lot of Europeans that come out, just because it's a European racing, so they come. But they,
you better get
none of the Europeans were there this year because of COVID, because their countries like won't let them travel internationally or whatever. Yeah. And so that was all Americans. And that's kind of my point is like, that's a huge crowd there for it. And maybe we only walk away with like 20 new fans. I mean, realistically, we'd walk away with like 100 at least. But that's 100 more than we had before, if we're going to the track anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't see us really benefiting that much off of having another series at the track at the same time. I mean, unless you get that 500,000 people crowd again, which I mean, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, because essentially we'd have to put the COTA race. I'm not saying add another date for COTA, but that means we'd have to put the COTA race in the playoffs, like instead of Kansas.
And that's not gonna happen.
Right. Yeah.
That's not going to happen, in my opinion. I wasn't a fan of really COTA as it was for the going there for the first time. It was kind of a toss-up for me, but there's no way they add another road course or swap the Roval out in the playoffs.
See, I don't know. I just hope down. I mean, this is a whole nother episode. Is like, I'd like to see the playoffs. Like, I want to see the champ. Maybe I give the 2 or 3 years for the champ race, but I want to see it rotate through the tracks. I think it'd be cool if every year the playoffs are fucking different. Like, mix them up, rerun them, change all the tracks. I don't give a shit. I know that's a scheduling nightmare, but if we're gonna add road courses and street courses and just invent tracks and shit, why not? Like,
my god, the year that they put the championship at a road course.
Oh god, that'd be brutal. You can count Chase.
I can see that happening.
That's the line. That might be the line for me. I think I would just stop watching. I think I'd be like, all right, well, this is not racing.
It's official
series that I care about anymore because the
champions are determined by. I always give Nathan is I'm like, if I wanted to watch that shit, I would just fucking watch that series.
They have that. That's an option for people. They can turn that on.
If I want to watch Rolex 24, I'll watch the fucking Rolex 24.
Yep.
It just sucks, man. It's
in the positive news, we're not going to a road course this weekend.
We're going to one of the best fucking.
We're going to a good track. Yeah,
I say a top 3 track in NASCAR.
Still never been. It's been haunting me for years. I've been trying to go, and it never works out.
It was on our bucket list, though. It was on our bucket list.
It's the top of my bucket list. Yeah. I want to check it off.
Well, if either one of y'all want to come, I got a spare ticket. So first come, first serve.
I hate you. I think
I might take you.
Things work out right. I think we will be there next year.
Yeah, I was gonna say next year. I think you will see me there next year.
For the April race or for the pre-championship race?
Probably not April.
I think I'm most positively gonna be at the fall race.
Snake wife is pregnant, and her due date is mid-April. So just. Yeah, anything in that month at this point is kind of like probably can't do anything for a whole month there. So
that means you get to miss Dale Jr. that weekend. But
I'll live.
Having a kid is understandable. Junior
yeah,
can.
that's the one excuse that
Get out
funeral or birth, death or birth. I guess those are the two excuses.
But dude,
that are allowed.
We're going to Martinsville. Moving this to the cutoff race in the third round was one of the best moves I ever did with the playoffs. I remember it used to have as like the first race or something, and then Texas, then Phoenix, and it was okay. But no, moving this is the final cutoff.
And we were kind of ranking the rounds of the playoffs, like what had the best tracks, and this one was it was the weakest, right? You have Texas and then Kansas. Yeah. But Martinsville alone, we were like, oh shit! But that's like the last race before the cutoff. That's going to be huge.
Yeah, man. I think that I haven't been there personally, but this one has been a banger for years to come. It's always a must watch. And the way the points are set up after Kansas, dude, I don't know who's going to make this thing. I have no idea who's going to be our Final Four.
You don't have a solidified pick you think is going to win it?
Yeah, probably the race or the championship.
Yeah, we make picks. We make picks. Well, we're about to make race picks here when we get done hyping up Martinsville. Okay. So hopefully you have some in mind.
I do have a few.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, this was definitely a good move by NASCAR. Like I said, you take one step forward, two steps back. That's NASCAR tradition. This was a step forward. Very excited about this race. Great way for a cutoff for the last round before the championship four. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you just want to get into picks, Dakota?
Yeah, let's go straight into picks, man.
I mean, do you want the intern Luna to give your picks?
Luna, can you hand me that document I had you type up? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I have it right here. All right, go play. Thank you. Go back to that work you were doing.
We are going to have to start having Luna picks. And
Luna picks. What are you going to say? She's going to go Chase. Go Chase. Yep, see? I see him. Yep, that's enough. Luna, who's going to win this weekend? Paw Patrols? Or is Chase or Bubba?
Ugh. What'd she say?
She said Chase.
All right. Luna picks Chase. If Chase wins, then we're going to – you know what? Luna picks in the future, we're going to set this up. It's going to be like our betting picks of like who you should put
Luna, who should I put $100 on?
And the funny thing is you're listening to like a 3-year-old, 3 or 4. Sorry. 4 now?
She's 3. I don't expect you to know.
3?
Give her 3 drivers to pick from.
Yeah, and then you are trusting your money with a 3-year-old.
I'll just need to like buy a bunch of 164s.
That'll be hilarious.
I'll be like, one. I'm like, all right, guys, you heard it here. Michael McDowell's.
Well, and then if she starts doing well and people make money off her, we'll just be able to like make fun of everybody else that are giving you picks because we're like, we have a 3-year-old on our show doing it. Luna's picks. All right, we'll prepare this. We'll have to definitely do it for at least the championship race to see how it goes. Yeah. I'm excited about that. So, if Dakota has not told you, what we do is traditionally we do a lock of the week and then like our underdog pick. During the playoffs, we've flipped that to lock of the week is a playoff driver that you think will win. And then the underdog is somebody that is not a playoff driver that could potentially win. So somebody that's not in the playoffs. It's a little bit easier now. When it first started, people not in the playoffs, that was kind of a lost cause. So let's see. I went first last time. Dakota, why don't you go first this time? I don't think you've gone first in a while.
Race winner this weekend, I can go with none other than Martinsville Martin Truex. I think the 19 has been swinging on these short tracks. He's kind of dominated this track lately. I think they get their mojo back and they win and lock themselves into the playoffs on Sunday.
Not a bad pick at all.
Okay, Guap, why don't you do your playoff pick?
Playoff pick for this,
and we like to pick different ones. By the way.
Oh yeah, you can't. So he's off the table.
Yeah.
All right. So if I have a playoff driver, I have to pick for this weekend. It's an upset pick as a playoff driver, but I think he can pull it off. Would be Brad.
Really, I think Brad has a shot. He's been running good.
He's been if he don't kick his own ass. He can win at Martinsville. He's done it before, and he's obviously a championship driver, winning driver. So he's got what it takes to win the race.
Yeah.
Love to see it happen.
All right.
Oh, man. This is tough. I'm between 2 names.
Don't you dare say it.
I know where he's going with that too.
All right, so I want to say Ryan Blaney just because I'd like to see him sneak his way in
I
there.
can see him doing it.
Right. No, he could. He's had speed all year, and it'd be really cool to see Ryan Blaney, a guy that I don't think anybody picked for their Final Four, like at the beginning of the season. Not saying nobody thought he would make it far in the playoffs, but Final Four. I mean, that's huge. But honestly, I'm gonna have to agree with my pregnant wife here. I'm gonna go Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson once again,
dude.
3 in a row, and just
this is his worst track, but he finished 5th here in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
It's his worst track and his best car. So I honestly think it'd be crazy. It'd be awesome and crazy if he wins.
I mean, just in Vegas odds right now, it's Martin Truex Jr. obviously at plus 450, so he's favorite. But right after that, it's Kyle Larson at plus 500.
Yeah.
I mean, Vegas is like he's probably gonna fucking win. Like if it's not Martin Truex Jr. to be fair, which is that's his track to lose. But how crazy would it be? And just no one else gets a win in this round of the playoffs. Just
now,
Kyle Larson
who's got nothing to lose and people are sleeping on though is that 22 car. You remember when he did the old bump and run on Truex to win himself a championship? If we get some late race restart and Joey Logano's on those first couple rows, like look the fuck out.
Yeah. He also could be a little bit reckless this race because of that.
Yeah, he could. He
has everything to lose. Well, nothing to lose and everything to lose. Okay. What about our non-playoff drivers? Who do we like? Dakota?
Non-playoff drivers? Damn. I mean, who's good here that's not a non-playoff driver? That's a tough one.
I got one. I don't know if it'll make it all the way around, so we'll see.
I'm gonna go with old buddy that showed some speed lately. Absolutely ruined his whole season a year ago at this track. And I'm gonna go with the 4 car. He showed speed lately. He's got a win in 2011. The 4 car may not be good here lately, but we got momentum and let's let it roll, baby.
Okay, not bad.
Not a bad pick. See, my pick as an upset is someone that everyone's picked every single week to finish top 5 or either win the race, and he's bit his own ass or finished top 2, top 3 every week. Just can't get over that hump. And I feel like the win at Martinsville, your first win, would be a great one to actually finally get over the hump, and that's the 8 car.
Ooh,
Tyler Reddick.
Really?
All right.
I would, and as a fan to see that in person, I think that'd be cool to see his first win in person.
That would be awesome. Oh my god, when on those restarts at Texas, I was losing it because I was like, oh, if I get to watch him get his first win, I would have been awesome. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Obviously, I'm gonna go Willie B. I'm surprised he made it all the way around.
That's where Guap was going. He's like,
I know. He was describing it too. He was like, he's always top 5, top 10. I'm like, shit, he's second.
I was like, yeah, he's picking the 24.
And my backup was going to be Tyler Reddick. Okay. So that worked out.
I'd be cool with either of them winning.
Yeah. Looking here, let's see. What does Vegas odds have? Playoff. Yeah, Willie B is the top non-playoff driver they got, plus 1,100.
He's had the most speed besides Reddick. Them 2 non-playoff guys have been just.
I was gonna say them 2 together, and that's why they've been battling every fucking race.
There's like a little rivalry brewing right there.
The politest rivalry in NASCAR.
How dare you, sir?
We'll see. We'll see how Martinsville goes. Kansas.
I think it's gonna be a bloodfest, man. Like
Kansas didn't have a lot of fans. Texas didn't have a lot of fans.
Martinsville's gonna be packed out.
Is watch Martinsville be packed out, and it's like, hey, here's your freaking sign. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. I really hope that that's the case.
Yeah. Hey, these 2 tracks, but then here's, be careful what you talk about is like, well, when we don't go to Kansas or go to Texas anymore, we're all gonna be like, man, remember when we used to go to ovals?
I feel like
I can't make these people go to these racetracks.
I just feel like some of these tracks, man, should be one time a year. Like I feel like going to Texas twice is too much. Even if for the All-Star race is too much. Well, Kansas one time a year.
Here's another notch in the belt. I'm totally cool with let's give every track 1 race. But does Talladega get 1 race?
No, I was about to say not every track.
So does Daytona get 1 race? It's like, all right, about to cross some effing lines here.
Well, Ian, I think the reason that Texas Motor Speedway, it might change now with COTA on the schedule, but same with Kansas, is there's not a lot of tracks in that part of the country
Yeah.
And if you live in the Southeast, oh my God, every weekend you can go to a race just about. If you're in middle America, I mean, those are your 2 tracks and you're going to have to like make it work. I think that's why they do that. With Texas Motor Speedway, like I said, it might change now with COTA on the schedule, but I'm pretty sure that's why Kansas is like that. They have a lot of fans in the Midwest and this is their only opportunity.
Well, I'm sure we'll get to talk about it next year, but why the hell are we doing an all-star race at Texas? If we're going to do these crazy little made-up tracks, do it on the all-star. If you want to test some crazy crockpot theory with a, setup or, what kind of package you want to run, do it in the all-star race. Why we're doing it in Texas, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what blew my mind earlier is when you got Rick Ware is going to have to drive 18 hours from Charlotte just to race in 15 laps and turn around and pack the haulers and go back home.
Yep.
And they're required to be there. They can't say no. So and there's no godly or way that any of them 4 cars would even get into the next round of an all-star race. So why make them waste the money? You've got Bowman Gray, you've got Wilkesboro that you can build up within a couple of years of construction. Rockingham that can be built up within a year. Charlotte.
I was going to say, honestly, Rockingham probably has a better, more realistic, quick turnaround for making it a facility that you can run on. North Wilkesboro, I know there's the whole thing, like everyone's trying to save it or whatever, but I feel like Rockingham probably has the best opportunity for like an old track that you could invest in.
Right.
Well, North Carolina is supposed to be giving each track $10 million and Charlotte 15.
Yeah,
if that bill gets passed. So it's obviously there's opportunity there for both tracks. It's just the communities and NASCAR wanting it to happen. Obviously, most fans do. It's just you have to get corporate NASCAR to push the narrative and make it happen.
Check out this idea. Take one of the 2 Darlington races away, put it just back to the Southern 500 throwback race, just the one on Labor Day weekend. And then the other one put in Rockingham because that's only like an hour away from Darlington anyway.
No, it's a good, I would say 2.5 hours from Darlington. If I'm not mistaken.
All right, I'm looking this up. That doesn't sound right, but maybe you live in that part of the country, so I guess you would know.
Because Darlington's off of 95, and Rockingham is an hour and some change, like you said, south from Charlotte, and it takes
towards Darlington.
Yeah, right? The Carolinas, man.
All right, let's see. Darlington, South Carolina, Rockingham. You're probably going to be fucking right. 1 hour and 3 minutes. What's up?
I'm surprised it's that close. It's not bad.
Yep, that was perfect. I said it's an hour away. So that would be sweet because you still get that second race in that kind of area for the fans, different track.
Well, here's the thing, too, is like, I guess for us, old school fans that are left, is like, hey, we're going to Rockingham, be there. Oh. That motherfucker will sell out.
Oh, it'll sell out. I mean, what's the attendance? Like 30,000 probably, 40. I mean, it's a small attendance. They'd probably add some, but I wouldn't go overboard. I would max it out.
Crockpot North Wilkesboro thing.
I would keep it at like 40,000 and sell that bitch out, and you could sell tickets for like $100, honestly. Yeah. And it would still sell out.
$100.
And the camping and parties that happen at Rockingham too were maybe not up there with Daggett, but they're definitely like they're up there because the
camping is real nice. Rockingham, and it is in the middle of nowhere.
Or seen the track, but I remember I was young enough to remember like seeing races there on TV when my dad was watching them.
It's out in the middle of nowhere, man. I drove by it. I went out of my way to drive by it because I was like, I want to see this track, and it's out there.
I've worked it a couple of years ago with a job I had. I delivered some stuff out there, water for a rock concert, and it doesn't look bad. Like it obviously can still have concerts and tire tests and everything else, so it's possible.
When I went out there, I was like, dude, this facility's way better than I thought it was going to be. Like the condition of the facility, I was like, it's not that far off. Like that, it needs some work, but it's realistic. Dakota, that's what we need to do. Like there's the whole like save. Every other track, there's like a save that track. We need to become the Save Rockingham track podcast.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone.
That'll be our thing. We'll sell shirts and not give any of the proceeds to the track.
So that was actually my first ever NASCAR race was at Rockingham.
Yeah, that's badass.
First ever. Bill Elliott and Matt Kenseth.
That was the
side by side one. That was my
first
ever NASCAR race.
Were you there for the Casey Kane side by side finish?
I was not.
Oh.
I was there at the last fall race they had.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's currently top of the fifth, 5-1 Astros.
What the hell, dude?
Let's go.
I don't even care. Like,
World
that's the
Series
thing.
team.
I'm not even a baseball fan. I'm just like, come on, Georgia.
No, it's a Georgia team. They're destined to lose. So, Jay Guap, thanks for coming on, man.
Yes, sir.
Glad
Hey,
to
you know
finally
what?
talk
Hold
to
on.
you.
Before we get off, we never did our Final Four predictions.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we always do it right before the last.
We did
Okay.
it. Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
you're
Nick,
right,
right,
you're right.
here, we're going to do this is a really good, hard one, too. It's like we're going to do who do you have going into the Phoenix as the Final Four? We'll let you kick it off. Who do you got being your Final Four contending for the championship?
Well, since I picked Brad to win, so I have to keep him in it. So I'll Larson, Chase, Brad, and I think Truex will get in on points.
Ooh, wow. Somebody's getting in on
So
points.
over
That's for
Denny
sure.
Hamlin. You think Denny Hamlin's not making it?
Wow.
I don't think so. And I know Denny's basically a lock. He just has to finish, I think, 17th to be a lock to get in.
Yeah, all you have to do is blow a right front rotor or blow a motor, and you're done.
Or Chase getting some payback from 2016 and send his ass on his way up the track.
Takes out everybody.
Hell yeah, that was a good one. I love
that. I love that shit.
That was the one time I threw shit at my TV. I was pissed.
Well, and that was, I think, the last time when like every NASCAR fan was a fan of Chase Elliott.
Yeah. That's when he was the pure golden boy. Now everyone is either you're a Chase fan or you can't stand a son of a bitch.
And then he was like, calm down.
And it was at the peak, like, everyone hate Denny moment. And it just kind of worked perfect.
I think some Chase fans still hold on to that one.
Well, the only reason is because I was going for his first win.
Yeah.
Right. Which is so funny to look back now and you're like, I
didn't realize then. I realized now that Chase was just such a bitch.
Hey,
just like that 9-year-old, huh?
All right, Dakota. Who do you got?
So automatically we got Kyle Larson. I'm saying Denny's gonna make it. Playboy Denny's gonna make it and give Kyle a run for his money at Phoenix. Unfortunately, I think the 9 car is gonna go. I think he might even win Martinsville. I don't know, but I think it's too much to fuck up, but they are really good at that. I think I remember Martinsville one year, they just blew up right when the race started and got themselves out real quick. So I think the 9 makes it, but the 4 spot, this whole time I've been saying the 18's making it. The 18's making it, but I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing them kind of tripping over themselves, I don't see the pizzazz or the momentum. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see the 18 making it. And I think it's coming down between the 12 and the 19. And it's kind of like, well, Ryan's been really good this year. He's got the wins. But damn, that 19 has the fucking 750 horsepower down. It's Martinsville.
Going into Martinsville, it's tough.
I think the 19 takes the 4th spot.
Okay, cool. I was pushing you towards Martin Truex Jr., so we'd have a little bit of a different Final Four.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm obviously Kyle Larson. No, here's a twist. I think Kyle Larson doesn't survive, and then he isn't able to race. No, I'm just joking. Of course, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. I know it pisses Dakota off, but I feel like Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Denny Hamlin are like pretty much in at this point. Like those are the 3 guys.
Unless something crazy happens.
Something crazy can totally happen, 100%. But
somebody could run into somebody into the wall.
More than likely, those are the 3 going. Who's the 4th? I'm gonna go Ryan Blaney.
All right, I told that was my other pick. Is like I'm kind of rooting for old Ryan Blaney. He has never had a championship appearance. Kind of rooting for him.
Check this out though. What if Ryan Blaney gets in, wins the championship? Do people respect him, or do they go, that wasn't a real championship?
And here's the thing, dude. This is a whole episode, dude. Is
they're gonna have to bite their tongue because like
the
you're happy for
Ryan,
system, but
it's totally everybody loves the playoff system when Chase fucking won. But is when Kyle Larson doesn't win this championship, there's going to be a fucking.
Well, here's the thing. Denny Hamlin could win, and people would still be like, all right, well, they were close, like it was those 2 all the way. But if a guy like Ryan Blaney
Joey Logano sneaks in with
Brad Keselowski,
if they sneak in and then win Phoenix and win the championship, people are going to be pissed.
Oh, if Joey Logano or like Brad Keselowski wins, or even Ryan Blaney, I mean, people will lose it because they're like, that's not a real champion, and they're kind of right.
And it is the championship. That's the fucking rules, and that is how it works. We need to have a post season podcast, just breaking down the playoffs.
All right, we will do that.
That'd be a good one.
We will do that.
I'll be pro playoffs and you can be anti playoffs.
All right, Jake. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, Jake,
I had a great time,
brother. I'm glad we finally got you on. I can't wait to see you next race. Have fun at Martinsville, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We better get some good picks. We might need some content. Like send us a picture real quick.
Yeah. Say, hey, this is brought to you by Chairgatin. Except we don't like pay you or do anything for you.
Yeah.
You just
we
do
say,
it.
Hey, local Chairgatin star guest, Jake Guap is at Martinsville. And it's you on the start finish line.
Yes, you'll see me there. Normal place.
Hey, boy.
Any plugs, social media that anybody should follow?
J__Guap on Twitter, J.Guap_ on Instagram, and yeah, glad to be on the show. Glad we finally got me on here. It's fun.
I feel like Jay Guap would be a good Jeopardy guest.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do a little Jeopardy. We're gonna do a big one on the off season. We might have to get you back on.
Yeah.
Let me know, dog. Let me know.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you coming on.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Go Stros.